afternoon, bang on time. My name is Julie Rowe, I've been mentioned as Julie, and I am a bit of a, I don't know quite how I fit in. I fit into lots of branches, so I'll just quickly tell you on one hat, I am a private neurological physiotherapy service called Right Neuro Rehab, of which we've got the most incredible neurological therapist you get your hands on. I was invited, I'm stepping into my other hat right now, from a gentleman who had headed the Duncan Trust in 2017, of which there's a long history, and I've got 20 minutes to cover so much, so you can check that out on our website, who came to me and said, I've got money for the neuromuscular population. I thought he was joking. Long story short, he wasn't joking, and I had to find who the population that money was to be spent. That was a referral from Sir Richard Fall, who they'd gone and said, we want to actually get to the clients, to the people with the neuromuscular conditions. As a result of that, I happened to bump into Gordon, and we formed the Duncan Foundation, of which we've got a medical advisory board and a trust, and I'm the national clinical leader, and I have some fantastic clinicians across New Zealand, of which we've got 8 sites now with accredited neurological therapists to support people with neuromuscular conditions. So I'm now going to step into my other hat. As a result of that, I met Richard and Miriam and went to them and said, who of the population with neuromuscular conditions can we support? Who's in the most in need? Friedreich's ataxia popped up because of the research that was going on, and so we supported them. And I met a lovely lady at a conference about 6 months to a year ago. We all know Tara, and she's the trigger for today. 1,000% was directing me and going, what about this group? What about this group? And I was like, I want to get to that group too. How are we going to get there? So behind the scenes, there's been lots of nudging and elbowing and trying and squeezing. And so I just thought I'd give you that little bit of my hat, so if I don't between people, that's where I am. I think it's really important to recognise the Duncan Foundation. It's not the trust. Richard gets it wrong all the time, but we're okay with that. And what we are and who we are, so you understand what services we can supply. So our original mission statement was to identify and develop clinical services that will improve the lives of New Zealanders living with neuromuscular conditions. So very generic, because we don't want to be limited. We wanted to be recognised as a group of clinical leaders in the assessment and management of these conditions and provide accredited services nationwide. Ultimately, we'd like to have a clinician with the speciality or experience in even a rare neuromuscular condition within 100 kilometres of anyone with that condition. It's our long-term goal. We want to provide a collaborative organisation who works hard to get maximum impact for people with neuromuscular conditions. We're not going to be able to, with our limited funds and our large geography, see everyone every day, but we're going to try and outreach and collaborate with other organisations, nudge them in the right direction, support them with the right resources, and be there as just a national support service, and facilitate where we can in the nicest way possible. Quite good at bending arms. So we're going to have we do have already a national network of accredited clinicians, and we're growing that. We want to increase nationwide therapist understanding of the rarer conditions, and the pathology of the condition, the various presentations, the effect of the condition on the whole person, and the treatment principles for management. And that's really hard. We've picked a small population group where there's not a lot of research, and everything we read is like, needs more research, but we're trying to find something that we can give people, prescribe people, and support clinicians to give the right treatment and the safe treatment for different conditions. We want to be a friendly person at the other end of the phone, so if anyone has questions, they can call. I'm out there all the time, up and down the country, trying really hard to say, hi, how are you? I'm Julie. Do you want to know anything about polio? Do you want to know anything about dystonia? Give me a call, here's my card, just so that we've got, they feel comfortable enough to call. The geography of New Zealanders, you could live in Kurua and have a condition, and there's a physiotherapist there who hasn't seen your condition at all, and before you walk in the door, they're Googling. I want when they Google dystonia or Friedreich's or SCAR, we don't call it SCAR, so I've been told off. We feel SCAR sounds like there's a scar, so our clinic calls it SCA. I've been told it's SCAR, but I might bump to
It just took me a while to figure out what you were saying.
We're having a cross communication. I was like, SCH. You're supposed to call it SCAR. I was like, no, but that sounds like a scar. I didn't like that, so we did laugh about this. But I want them to look up SCA and think, oh, there's someone in New Zealand, oh, she's got some resources, I've got a video I can watch, and she'll let me call her. I want that, so that they don't have to go, what's happening in America, and oh, what are they doing? I want it to be here. And it's not just me, the Duncan Foundation want that. We want to make sure that the latest research is dissipated between the national network. The internet has enabled so much more speed when there is a clinical research occurring over the other side of the world. It used to literally take 16 years before it got to clinical practice. I want to kind of jump over there. What's going on? Hi. Get that information back so we can start doing it quicker. If we know something works, why wait 16 years? So I'm the first person to email. I emailed Denmark this week, Belgium. I spoke to someone in Canada. I'm all over the show going, what are you guys doing? What's happening? Just so that we know. I want to bring that home. We also want to be a hub of info and visibility and awareness. You know, I'm sure you've bumped into people before and said, I've got SCA, and they have no idea what that is. And I think if we can increase awareness, we might have more conversations, we might find out more, we might collaborate more. We as clinicians know that there is many components to a neuromuscular condition that in everyday life, and it's a real holistic management. So, and our summary was that we supported people living with a range of neuromuscular conditions, and our current focus is dystonia, and under that banner is focal hand dystonia and cervical dystonia, because if anyone else understood dystonia, you'd understand that that is a mystery in itself. Friedreich's ataxia, and I feel really strongly about what we've done there because there's 71 on the registry at the moment with that condition, and they used to have to go to Melbourne to do what we're doing here. And with somebody with a physical disability, it's a really big journey. It's emotionally taxing, financially taxing. And why Friedrich started was really interesting because I actually had a patient come through the clinic privately, and I did a full assessment, and I said to her, so has anyone else assessed you? And she'd kind of gone, no, but I hadn't said in the world. And she said, oh, well, I did go to Melbourne. So the next time she came in, she brought this assessment form, and they'd done exactly what I'd done, and they had exactly the same recommendations. That was a year and a half earlier. And I'd said, so what happened to this form? Who did you give that to? She said, well, no one wants it here. So none of the actions, and that was it was very separate. Yeah. And also, she didn't really know who to give it to here. So we're trying to be that person that you can give it to, and we'll try and find a way around it. And recently diagnosed Parkinson's, well, we're not going to go into all of that, and SCAR. I'm going to call it SCAR for Miriam. But I have to say that under Duncan Foundation, we have limited resources, and Gordon's out there fundraising as much as we can, and we have a certain amount of funding, we allocate it, and Gordon and I have got a very long day coming up on the next funding for next year because we're a philanthropic foundation. And we actually got given a lovely grant by the Lindsay Foundation about 6 months ago. But I sat on that money literally, and I had met Tara by then, and I was pushing other people towards Tara and my thoughts. And I actually had to meet with the Lindsay Foundation about a month ago and say, I haven't touched your money. So he's happy with that. He said, as long as you can tell me you've made a difference, he said, that'd be great. So this is my biggest challenge, is measuring impact in a progressive neuromuscular population. So the Lindsay Foundation, thankfully they've got a website up now. They didn't have one when they gave us our little pile of money. And it's to support Kiwi individuals and organisations who aspire to make a positive difference in New Zealand. It's a real honour that they recognise that that is the Duncan Foundation. And then, the Friedreich's Ataxia research was going underneath the Centre for Brain and Research Genetics Clinic, and we are hoping that SCA will fit into that lovely model. So I thought I'd just give you a brief overview of what I think you're going to go through soon when SCA gets added to the Neurogenetics Clinic. So Kerry Walker was the lady in the front right of the photo earlier, and if you've registered as having SCA under under Miriam, you will get a call from Kerry as soon as we've got our doors open to say, would you like to come? She will help with you to schedule an appointment at Auckland Hospital. Well, this is what's happening with FA, so this is what I'm suspecting will happen the same. They come in and they have 2 appointments of about an hour and a half each. So you see the doctor and the neurologist for an hour and a half, and they go through those battery of tests, and then they go through the what else do you need. And you go and have a little bit of lunch, and we meet, the physios and OTs meet with the doctors and neurologists, and we go, what did you learn about your person? What did you learn about your person? So we're not asking you the same questions again. And the doctor might say, well, actually, can you look at the foot? She had a bit of a dropped foot. Can you assess that a bit more? Or she was spinny. Maybe she's got B2PV. So then we hand over and we swap people. And the therapist, we get you for the second half of the day, and we do a specific set battery of tests. And yes, there is the 9-hole peg test. And yes, we know it's really frustrating, but it's on there for Friedreich's ataxia. Let's hope it's not on there for your one. And then at the end of that, or halfway through actually, we have a bit of a weird switch, and this is when I say, fabulous, thank you very much from the research clinic, and I step sideways again and go, would you like our support after this clinic? If you do, would you like to register with the Duncan Foundation? And all that we've kind of covered today, and all those things that you've identified you need, I'll try and sort that out. But the research clinic is only for that time in the clinic to gather the data, and I ethically can't leave knowing that there's some things that you might need, and I'm just going to let you go out the door. So the Duncan Foundation picks you up from there and goes, wonderful, would you like to register with us? We'll look after you. There's 6 things we needed to do. You need your wheelchair assessed, fantastic, let's adjust that. Let's find someone in your community who would like to support you with your exercise program, and start those things going. And the team, we then do reports and referrals as appropriate.
Julie?
Yes.
So just go back to that slide. Where it says schedule appointment at Auckland Hospital, that should read schedule appointment at the University of Auckland, and it's right here. And you'll just come in as you come in today, and instead of being on this floor, the clinic's downstairs, the next floor down.
Thank you, that's true. We moved. We haven't had a clinic here yet. So I think it's just important to step sideways and show you what that will mean after. So today is about your awareness of what's could be coming for you research-wise, but also what hopefully will be coming to you outside of the clinic. So you register with the Duncan Foundation online. That will trigger a introduction from Gordon. Gordon then sends you an email which then says, hi, thank you very much. He's not really privy to your personal information, so he will then say, could you please upload some data for your allocated therapist, which I then have access to, and we can in the future be able to use that same format to share information. You might update me through there, and I might send you reports that I've done, but it's a medical notes area called Noted. And then you'll be contacted by your local clinician with an accredited one, so one who understands your condition and has experience. Or if they haven't got a lot of experience, they're going to be supported by the Duncan team. And then follow-up could be provided outside the clinic. That could be simply some resources, some advice on stretching, some pacing, fatigue and sleep, which we might not have time to cover in the clinic appointment. There may be individual exercises prescribed, referral for GP to activate some ACC, a referral to a community occupational physio or physiotherapist for rehab-specific goals and measures provided. You may need a review for wheelchair, referral to orthotic for splints for support for reducing fatigue while walking, or condition-specific treatment guidelines. It could be any of those, and some or none. It may also mean that what we've found already is that we've had to call a local ACC provider, introduce ourselves, ask them if they understand the condition, or if they'd like a bit of support, or could I possibly send them some resources, or would it mind if I came out and we did a joint session to see if we can enhance what you're getting out of your treatment. We may work with the local providers to recommend a neurological provider and provide support for them. We may get you to come into the clinic if you're based in Auckland. We might get you to come into the clinic for something specific. Maybe an online, we've used Zoom to be able to participate in assessments or treatments and follow-ups when people aren't here in Auckland. We may go to the pool, we may go to the gym. We may find that you're actually off balance because you've got something going on in your vestibular system. And myself and Christine are vestibular therapists as well. So if you've got something going on there and we can remove that out of the equation, life is a lot easier. Ideally, the plan would be that you also have follow-up at 3 months or at 6 months. The biggest part is being able to capture that we're doing anything, that we're making a difference. So I stupidly have agreed to do my Masters this year because I think as a voice and for us to get more money, funding for the neuromuscular population of New Zealand with progressive disorders, I need to be able to say to people that it makes a difference. So I need to understand from you, what's the gaps? Is it that there's a delay in diagnosis, and if that was expedited, would that make a difference? Is it a delay in accessing equipment? We've just come across some horrific stories of people who have been in horrific wheelchairs for very, very long periods of time on wait lists, and we are now working on ways of skipping the queue. And I think that that's going to make a dramatic difference for people in regards to their pain, discomfort and accessibility. Is there a gap in accessing experienced therapy staff? Is it just simply access to an appropriate gym or pool? Is it not knowing what to do at all? I don't think I've made a typo. Did I have polio in the first page? I did. So polio is one of the populations, our first and probably our strongest clinical experience, because that was the first condition that we looked after. And if you do the exercise wrong in polio, it's very damaging. And if you didn't know that as a clinician, you can easily make a mistake and have a very large functional impact. And we need to know that you're doing the right types of exercise, where you're not putting too much energy into something that's just going to do damage, or you could be putting that energy into something that will make a difference. So if we know more, we can make more of an impact. I want to be able to go back to the Lindsay Foundation next year and go, these 20 people that we saw said that what made a difference for them was simply being able to pick up the phone and talk to someone who understood their condition. We want to know that we made a difference by being there, or by doing something, or by just raising awareness, or getting you together today. I need to be able to capture that. So for us to know we're helping you and what you want and you need, and how I and as part of the national team, we can support your community. If anyone would be really happy to be interviewed, because I know this isn't the format, I was like, oh, I'd love to have an open kind of chat. But if anyone's happy to be interviewed, and it's not an interview, it's just briefly to understand where the blips are, where you want support, so that you can guide our service to your conditions, it would be really beneficial. I'm not hiding my email address and phone number. They're there for you to use. I'm part of your support team now. I've read enough research articles and talked enough about SCAR over the last 6 months that I'm going to be moving forward with that condition, not sideways from it. So we're certainly here for you all. Christine's going to have a chat now about the clinical and research in SCAR from a therapeutic perspective. I will hand over the reins to her. But any questions to me at this point?
Can I just ask you on the interviews, is that for people with the condition, or is that support?
Both. Absolutely. Just as important if we can help a support person, we're helping the person.